Well, welcome back to the baseball hut. Yes, the Mets won tonight, 2-1. You got awfully nervous with this game tonight. As I watched the SNY post game, we'll get this show ramped up once people start coming in here. But it was an interesting game and very annoying game for your host. You don't see me how I am sometimes. It's very different than how I do these videos. So it's kind of a odd kind of thing. So we're just gonna wait people to come in. I haven't done too many live streams lately, and we'll see how this goes. But that's won 2-1 in 10 innings, and thankfully, Mets the good guys won tonight because this was a very hairy situation here, and I was getting really irritated that Mendoza brought in. I was getting very annoyed that Mendoza brought in Reed Garrett in the 10th inning. I was getting so pissed. I was like, "Hello, Mothman Evolved. Welcome. Hit the like button, of course." And yeah, I was getting very irritated, folks. Getting very irritated in the 10th inning because I'm thinking, guys, can you in the ninth inning, top of the bottom of the ninth inning when the Mets, had Garrett in the bullpen, I was like, man, you've got to get some runs in here. All right, you can't be having Garrett come in the 10th inning. I mean, I was getting so pissed. I was getting so irritated in that 10th inning, in that ninth inning, the 10th inning. And luckily, the Mets, they pulled it out. I would mention that Starlin Marte, this is the 11th walk-off hit he's had in his career. So I felt pretty good with him up at the plate. It's 11 walk-offs in his career. That's pretty damn good. That's pretty good, don't you think? And to see him get in the bat, I would mention this as well, that Luis Angel Acuna looks pretty good at shortstop. He's very, very confident. He's looked pretty good in the short amount of time that I've seen him. Then I've gotten a chance to see him defensively. He's pretty good. And I don't know how he's going to hit long term. I don't know how he's going to be an everyday player. But in terms of his defense, from the short time that I've seen him, he's very short-handed. He doesn't look nervous at all on the field. So that looked very good. I was very happy to see him do as well as he did. And I want to see how he hits long term. I think he can hit from the things I've read about him, but he's looked pretty good. Now, Sean Manaea pitched tonight, as you know, pitched 7 innings. He's pitched great. He just gave up that one run. He has been a godsend here because obviously coming into the season, we weren't sure how he was going to perform just for any team. And to see him pitch like an ace is quite the turnaround for his career. Because last year he was in the bullpen with the Giants, and that was very interesting. Also, please like the video, like the live stream. Oh no, hold on a second. I wanted to show you folks something from Friday. I haven't been able to do a live stream. Hold on, let me come back. Okay. Sorry to sort of walk away so suddenly. We'll get into this, what happened on Friday, because I got this ball on Friday. But, yes, so where was I? About Manaea. Manaea is a guy that we weren't sure how he was going to pitch. I know I wasn't sure. how he was going to pitch, and he's pitched great. Hello, Joey Nortella. But he's pitched great. The Mets pitching staff has been very good. The one thing that's been irritating me tonight in particular was all the years the Mets have been in these pennant races, and their offense has struggled in September. And it's irritated me like nobody's business tonight. For instance, back to 1987, that team was a team that should have won the division, and they didn't hit enough in September, especially after that game against the Cardinals. 2006 was the same problem. They didn't hit enough in September, even though they won the division 2 years ago, which was the biggest problem They didn't hit enough, and they lost to these bad teams. And that was a problem last year. And June, they didn't hit in June, which was a big reason why they played so poorly last year. And to see how this team has struggled this year, and really just during pockets of the season, May was such a disaster offensively, and then to see the team struggle the last few days, and obviously without Lindor in the lineup, and he was kind of struggling too over the last week or so before he got hurt. I would mention, I don't know if anyone else noticed, that he kind of looked like there was something wrong with him before he got hurt on Friday. I kind of felt that he was nursing some kind of injury, just by the way he was moving around, especially in situations where he was diving for balls. He was having a very difficult time getting back up. So I kind of had a feeling that something was up. And then to see him slide the way he did when I was at the ballpark on Friday was very difficult. Fishing with Derek says, what are your thoughts on the White Sox? They're terrible. I'll have a video on the Baseball Hut too about the White Sox tomorrow, about how the general manager there is basically saying they're not spending any money in the offseason, and they're basically going to go with the same team. That's great. And they're probably going to trade Luis Robert Jr. and probably Garrett Crochet, which I did not mention in the video, but they're going to move him. They're going to move those guys. That's my thoughts on the White Sox. They suck. The White Sox. That's what they are. Isn't that what their fans are calling them? The White Sox? But, the C. Lindor hurt was also concerning to me because we know that 3 years ago, after the All-Star break, after they lost Jacob deGrom, the end of that week, they also lost Lindor for 6 weeks. And that basically killed them that season in 2021, to where they were a team that was in first place most of the season, and then he got hurt, and then he was basically, the team was done after that, and they never quite got the momentum back after losing Lindor and deGrom in that short period of time during that week. So that's why I'm very concerned about this injury, and a lot of people online have been saying this is like the new David Wright, that he's going to have a long-term problem with his back. David Wright had spinal stenosis, which is a serious condition. And Lenny Dykstra had that. That's what ended Lenny's career, too. I don't think this is the problem with Lindor, but having a back issue as a baseball player is very problematic, because we do know there have been other instances. Don Mattingly was one. I think Ralph Kiner was another that had a back issue, and he had to retire at a younger age than he wanted to. Let me just go through a couple of things here. Some statistics for you guys. Met Stars have now pitched to a 2.03 ERA in September. Second best in the major leagues, according to Jolly Olive. Ollie said that. I know that I criticized Jeremy Hefner, but you got to give him some credit for what he's done. And I noticed that the walks have come down over the past month, which is a big deal. I thought what was interesting is when the Mets, when Mendoza brought in Bader to run for Vientos, the Mets didn't have anybody to play third. I don't know who was going to play third in the 11th inning if the Mets got to the 11th inning, but it was going to be very interesting to see. They might have put Luis Torrens in there. So I don't know where he was going to go with that. They're talking to him now. They're talking to Mendoza now. I'm sure they'll ask him after the game. You would think, if the media does a good job, they should be able to ask him what his plans were in the 11th inning. Also, want to say that Jose Iglesias, his numbers don't pop off the page, but he's a winning baseball player. He's a winning player. He knows how to win. He knows how to play great defense. He gets big hits. He got a big hit in this game early in the game. Score the one run. What was the I don't remember. It doesn't matter. He's played really well. And very, very happy for him, because obviously he wasn't in baseball last year. Why he wasn't in baseball last year is beyond me. Especially 2 years ago, he played well. He played well in the minor leagues last year. So it was very strange that he was in the minor leagues, and he seems like he'd be a really nice guy. So I don't understand why, and his teammates seem to love him. So it's very surprising that he has not been any kind of like in the majors. I was in the majors for a year. Maybe the age was an issue, 32, 33, 34 years old. But he had a really strong game. He's a very professional player. And you always need these guys. And it's funny, the three or four guys that have been keys to this club are all role players for the most part. Luis Torrens, Jose Iglesias. These guys have put the Mets in a very good situation to where they're contending now. Now we'll see how the Dodgers-Braves game ends. I don't know the score, but the way they were saying is that the Braves were getting their asses kicked by the Dodgers. Nice to see the Dodgers actually showed up. They showed up last night in the game. So all right, the Dodgers have defeated the Braves. They won 6-0 against the Atlanta. So the Mets now are in front in the wild card. They now have the third wild card. I'll have a short video for that to give you an update. We still got Arizona to follow, and we got the Padres. It looks like the Padres and the Arizona are pulling away. So that is probably going to happen. To where we won't be talking much about them too much. It'll be about the Mets and the Braves. Now tomorrow, I don't know who. I think the Braves plays. Who the hell the Braves play tomorrow? They play the Reds tomorrow. Is it the Reds tomorrow? Let me see. Now, meanwhile, please like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. You just take a quick peek here. Oh, they won 9-0. They beat the hell out of them. Yeah, it's the Reds. So tomorrow, the Braves play the Reds in Cincinnati. Tomorrow and Wednesday. You see who else they play. Let's see who else they play. All right, they play a 2-game series. Hold on a second, what's going on here? They play a 3-game series against the Reds. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday afternoon at 1:10. Then this weekend, the Braves played the Marlins in a 3-game series, and then starting on Tuesday, they play the Mets in a 3-game series, and they have to play one of the games the makeup day, which is Thursdays, because obviously whenever the Mets go to Atlanta, they get rained out. Then after that, the Braves play the Braves. They finish up with the Braves finish up with the Royals. I'm all right. So when the Mets play the Brewers, the Braves will be playing a playoff team. So it's an interesting. It's 6 games against 2 bad teams before they play the Mets. Isn't that great? So that's why this game was so important tonight to get the win. It takes a day off the schedule. Now we're down to 12 games now, with a game separating that third wild card spot. Because I think it's pretty obvious to me that the Padres and the Diamondbacks are going to be there when the bell rings, when it's time to put your pencils down. That it looks like the Braves and the Mets is going to come down. The Braves and Mets probably that series. Whoever wins that series will have the tiebreaker. So even if the two teams, say the Mets win 2 out of 3 down there, the Braves win 2 out of 3, and the Mets go to Milwaukee and they win 2 out of 3, and the Braves lose 2 out of 3, the Braves will have the tiebreaker, the Mets go home, or vice versa. So that's what it comes down to. It is going to be very difficult for the Mets. I mean, this is a very difficult time for this group. They have the hardest schedule now. They do it, like I said, they play the Nationals tomorrow. They play the Nationals on Thursday, and then they play the Phillies on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We'll see how the weather is. I think they'll get the game in tomorrow. Thursday, I heard it was not going to be very good weather in the evening, but we'll see. There's some kind of tropical storm coming through the area. Hopefully they can get the games in without a problem. And then the Braves, and then the Mets play the Phillies again. The Phillies are a very good team. And your host respects them. And I watched them this past weekend, especially on Friday, even though the Mets beat the tar out of them. And it was funny as hell sitting there, mocking all the Phillies fans walking out of the ballpark in the 7th inning. They're a tough team. And they showed it on Saturday, and they showed it on Sunday. So the Mets are going to have quite the task at hand in terms of defeating that team. They're going to be putting up quite the effort to knock the Mets out. Okay. And I would mention this. It is very important for the Phillies fans to beat the Mets. Okay. I was shocked at how angry the Phillies fans were at the Mets when I went there on Friday. Okay. More than one person I overheard saying that they hated the Mets, that the Mets were the Phillies' rival. And I thought that was interesting in my view, is because the Phillies, Met fans don't care about the Phillies. I've been to so many games when the Mets have played the Phillies. Us Met fans, we don't care about the Phillies. Our rival is the Braves. The real scum-sucking Braves. I hate the team. I hate their fans. I hate that ballpark, and we all do. That's the Mets' rival, not the Phillies. So I thought that was interesting that so many fans that are Phillies fans were so obsessed about beating the Mets. You know, a lot of this jealousy comes from '86, I think, a lot to a certain degree, I think. Sort of goes back to that, echoes back to that, I think. But the one thing you got to do now is keep winning. Win tomorrow. Worry about tomorrow. I've been saying this for the past few weeks. Every game's a playoff game. And because every day is a playoff game, you got to put your best effort into it. They've been doing that. I mean, they've been playing playoff baseball. Even though Saturday and Sunday was very frustrating, that's playoff baseball. And they came back tonight, and they won a game in an exciting fashion, which was nice to see. So that was a nice game tonight. In that regard, they won the game. Showman NL ranked since June 14th. First in innings, third in ERA, first in WHIP, first in opposition average, first in opposition OPS. Wow. I mean, a guy that was a number one pick, I guess by the Royals years ago, top 5 pick, top 10 pick. He's finally found his groove, I guess. We'll see if he comes back next year. He's going to have a lot of teams on him. Jay Dofer says, Philly is also the best team in baseball currently. That's right. I was very, very disappointed in the Orioles because I predicted that the Phillies and the Orioles would play each other in the World Series. But the Orioles have basically kind of collapsed in terms of trying to win that division. I had said before the season that they needed to bring in a veteran player to help that young group out. They didn't do it. I said that the Orioles should have brought in a guy like Tommy Pham to play on that team to help them win, and they didn't do that. And you're seeing the result. Also, they did not do much with the bullpen. They needed a lot of help with that bullpen. They didn't do anything with it. And you're seeing that now to what, they 3 games behind the Yankees? And the Yankees, they don't even look like they give a shit. The Yankees, every day you see, all you hear is how, when the Yankees don't play well, the fans here, they all act like they think, Yankees don't care. And I thought it was funny on Saturday that Garrett Cole walked Devers with nobody on base. There's nobody on base. Why are you walking him, asshole? You think Tom Seaver would have walked him? You think Dwight Gooden would have walked him with nobody on base? No. Bob Gibson wouldn't have done that. If some guy owned Bob Gibson, he would have thrown the ball in his head. I mean, you talk about a defeatist attitude. So in other words, if you have Garrett Cole's number as a hitter, he basically told you that he feels that he can't get you out. Crazy. Well, what kind of ace is he? We'll see if he opts out of his contract. He's had a very strange year, even with the injuries. Had a very strange year, and the Mets beat the hell out of him. By the way. But the Orioles, very disappointing the way they've played, in my view, just due to the fact that they had so much expectation coming in, and they basically have done nothing for the past month. And I blame the front office because the front office had a chance to really do some things. They traded some of their best prospects for Trevor Rogers, who they eventually sent down to the minor leagues. How stupid is that? Okay, how stupid is that? Did you bring in this guy? And there was so many rumors the Mets were trying to get him over Paul Blackburn. I know Paul Blackburn's up and down, but I'm glad they got him instead of Trevor Rogers. Because Rogers, they sent him to the minor leagues. You know. But hold on, I need a drink. Look. Yeah, so the Orioles made that terrible deal at the trading deadline. They brought in Rogers. I was so happy the Mets didn't get him because he would have pitched terrible. And I was right. He pitched terrible for the Orioles in that big spot. And the Orioles have not played well, like I said. Kimball's been a disaster. And look where they're at. Like 3 games behind the Yankees. 3 games behind the Yankees. Isn't that great? I know the Yankee fans don't pat themselves on the back again. Let's see where we are with them. Yeah, so the Orioles are 3 games back. I would mention the Mets have a winning season. Mets are 82-68. And that is something that we shouldn't forget about. The fact that the Mets have won 82 games. After it was predicted that they weren't going to do much, a lot of people were not on the side of the Mets. They were all against the Mets. The entire media was very much hitting the Mets for all offseason last year and for most of this season. And they're still complaining now. But the Mets, with 12 games left to play, they're right there. So, like I said, it's going to come down to that 3-game series against the Braves. We pray that the Braves don't do the same monkey business that Atlanta is kind of quietly known for, and that Houston was caught 7 years ago with that whole nonsense with whatever they were doing there, the cans and everything else. I know the Braves is a little more sophisticated in how they do things there, and that is my concern, is that the Mets are going to struggle to win games down there. Particularly on the pitching side, because we saw 2 years ago how poorly the Mets pitched down there. When we saw how great they pitched a few weeks before that, about a month before that, in Citi Field. So I'm very concerned about those games, and I will be keeping a very close eye. I'll be keeping a very close eye on the Braves when we get to Atlanta. I will be watching them very closely and all the monkey crap that they pull down there. Hello, John Parker. The Passionate Titan says, even if they don't make the playoffs, the way they turned around in June and became a winning team is remarkable. Absolutely. And the Mets have had a winning season now. They did mention at the end of the game, but the Mets have had a winning season. And isn't that what we wanted? So they could go 82-80 down the stretch, I mean, it's losing the rest of the game. They're not going to do that, but 82 wins. Who would have thought the Mets would have won 82 games? Doesn't that tell you a lot about this front office now? I was thinking about this. I've been thinking about this over the last few weeks. That I have felt that talent-wise, the Mets, I always felt that the Mets talent-wise were always there with the Braves and the Phillies. I felt that way since 2021. In 2021, they were first place most of the year. And then the Braves caught the Mets. And the Mets had problems with 2 major injuries to the club. And Jacob deGrom and with Francisco Lindor. And I was very irritated that they didn't win the division. Because they were leading all season long. But they had injuries. They really had a lousy attitude. Then in 22, they won 101 games. Right? They won 101 games, and they basically petered out. Last year was a complete total collapse, was a complete total mess in June, excuse me. And you saw a kind of a different attitude with the manager. The manager, now Buck is a very good manager. I thought he did a very good job with the Mets the first year. But Buck, I felt like, did not have the fire in the belly that he had the year before. And certainly didn't have the fire in the belly that he had when he was with the Yankees and with the Diamondbacks and with the Rangers and the Orioles. He kind of did not have that last year. I didn't like some of the things he was saying about how it didn't make sense to throw at other batters, if the Mets got hit. I would mention, I don't know if you guys have noticed, that the Mets don't get hit nearly as much as they have in the past. Last year they were getting hit like crazy. I don't feel that that's like a problem now. I mean, I don't know if a message has been sent quietly that was not going to be tolerated by the Mets anymore. But it wouldn't surprise me if that was the case. Now, when people come into the live stream, please, of course, hit the like button. And please subscribe if you haven't. So I've been thinking about this, that the team has been a much better team than they have shown over the last few years. And I think the reason they've played much better now is that you seem like a sort of a coming together of things. Now we have a very good owner. We've had a good owner the last few years. We have a very good front office now with David Stearns, and we have a good manager. I think we have the structure here that is calm, cool, and collected. Now, they need to do more work in the front office. They need to continue to get rid of more of the well-pond people. And they've begun to do a lot of that this year. They've done a lot of it quietly and subtly, but this group needs to continue to kick these people out. And my attitude is to get rid of more of the well-pond people out of here, that at some point the well-ponds will be like, we're going to sell our shares of the team. Because I feel, another thing, this is an aside, I feel like a well-pond person is the one that told Major League Baseball that Billy Epler was doing manipulation of the injured list. I think it was one of these people in the front office. That's my opinion. I have no proof of that. I also would say this, that Epler, I'm glad Epler's not the general manager here anymore. Because at the same time they were going to keep him, he was not a very good evaluator of pitchers. He did not do a good job bringing in good pitching in here. David Stearns has done a great job with the pitching, and every move that he's made, it's made the Mets incrementally better than they've been. And I'm happy that he's done that, and we've seen the improvement. A little A Prodigy, he said that he met David Stearns, the other day. It was really cool seeing him in person. Well, that's great. He seems like a very gregarious guy. He seems like a very friendly guy. He's always smiling. I know some people in the media have been complaining about him smiling. It's just ridiculous. But, so to see him, and I know a lot of people, in particular WFN, the dope, and, Joe Benigno said, I don't want some guy in Milwaukee running my club. Well, the guy in Milwaukee is running this club pretty damn good. He said he was going to get this team to the postseason. They're not there yet, but they're competing for it. They said they were going to be competitive. This is competition. This is competitive. And every day, like I said, every day is a playoff game, and we're seeing that now. And I can't tell you how happy I am that they're playing so well. Also, a little vindication for myself, because I put myself out on a limb with us, because everybody said that the Mets weren't going to be good. And I said they were going to be good. I got a little shaky and mad because they played so poorly. But they've really turned this around, and we're now in this situation now with 12 games left. They are now one game in front of the wild card. And I can't worry about the games from yesterday and the game from Saturday. Got to worry about tomorrow or that day's game. We really got to move on from today. The Mets have one game lead, but the Mets still have a very difficult schedule. Got to get tomorrow. Win tomorrow. It cuts a day off the schedule. Trims a day off the schedule. Got to get as many wins now as possible going into that series against the Braves. And the Braves have an easy schedule. So the Mets are going to have to do their best to continue to play well. And they played well. I mean, I will say this, the Mets have played well. You know, they've been a very good defensive team this year. We should be very happy that was one of the things that they wanted to address this season, was be a good defensive team. Did you see the play that Eddie Alvarez made in the middle of the game? So for a guy that hasn't hit, he's a very good defensive player. Also, again, give kudos to Acuna, who was playing in his third major league game, I guess. Had a very good defensive game late. He came in late, played defensively. He made some very good plays, very calm in the field. I would have liked to seen, in a perverse way, how he would have handled an at-bat in a big spot. Luckily, we didn't have to see that. The Mets won the game before that. But, Starling Marte got a good pitch on that 3-1 pitch, and he lined that ball down the line and got the Mets to win. Again, about what Marte did, that is the 11th walk-off win that he has had in his career, which is an amazing statistics, that he has that many game-winning RBIs to walk a game off. So the one thing I wasn't concerned about is he was going to put a good bat together in that 10th inning, and I'm glad that he was up there in that spot. He's not Wilmer, but he's pretty damn close in his career. If he'd done it with one team, people would be lauding him. But this is kind of a quiet stat. I remember that from 2 years ago when he had a walk-off from the Mets. I don't know who's pitching tomorrow. Let me see who's pitching tomorrow. Jay Darfer says this. Yeah, Bader is a crazy good fielder. He's really good. He caught a lot of balls in that outfield on Friday that most outfielders wouldn't have caught. He's very good. His hitting could be very inconsistent and most times lousy, but he's a good fielder. Tyler McGill. Tyler McGill pitches tomorrow. Jose Quintana goes on Wednesday, and Luis Severino goes on Thursday. So we'll see how that goes out tomorrow. Tyler McGill goes up against Mitchell Parker. Who the hell is Mitchell Parker? But he'll be going up against the Mets tomorrow. Let me take a look at him. McGill has pitched a little bit better since he's come back from the minor leagues. Now hit the like button if you haven't already. I am the best Mets channel on YouTube, and quite frankly, the best podcast on the internet. So Mitchell Parker is a lefty. I'm sure the Mets have gone up against him this year. I probably don't remember. He's 7-9, 27 starts, sort of 4.24 ERA. 127 strikeouts and 142 in the third innings. You'll see the right-handed lineup tomorrow. Beto will be in the lineup. Marte will probably be in the lineup. He's a rookie. 9 hits per 9 innings. 17 home runs. Got to keep an eye on that. Might be some balls going out of the ballpark tonight. Let's see here. Walks are 2.5 per 9 innings. 8 walks per 9 innings. Let's see. So he's a bit of a contact pitcher. So the Mets will have, who knows how he's going to pitch. It looks like he's a guy that throws strikes. So the Mets will have their right-handed lineup out tomorrow. That means that Jesse Winker won't be playing tomorrow. I would think that. I mean, the one thing I'll say about Mendoza, he's not afraid to change the lineup up. I was very surprised that he's been batting them at fifth, of late. Let me just go through this. I don't know what's going on in these other games. Let me take a look. And meanwhile, please like the live stream. And I'll have videos for tomorrow. Jay Darfer, I like Winker. I see potential in him. He is what he is. He is what he is. He is what he is. Cubs won again. The Cubs are kind of pretty much done. So Joe DeMayo, he wrote something nice. Read you this. The job isn't done, but coming into the season, a few gave the Mets a shot. I did. The host did. I did. They're guaranteed a winning season and currently hold a playoff spot with a dozen games left. I gave them a chance, folks. That's why you need to hit that subscribe button for this channel, because I was on an island with very few people. Now everybody wants to be part of the island. Get the hell out of here. You guys want to be on the island. You know, I eat, drink, and breathe this stuff when it comes to the Mets. And I want to see the Mets win. That's all I care about. I don't care about nothing else. Let's take a look. Let me look at the Padres. See what's going on in that game. Padres are winning 1-0 against the Astros. They got a tough series against Houston. Todd Licata. I gave them a chance, but I didn't think it would take 89 wins. Well, it's probably going to take that. You know, it's a little bit, every year is different. You never know. You never know how things go. See how the Diamondbacks are doing. What's going on in the Diamondbacks game? I'll have a short video later, I think. Yeah, so we'll say San Diego's winning right now. They have the first wild card. And then there's the Diamondbacks. I mean, they had crazy wins yesterday, those two. Every team had a crazy win yesterday. Even the Dodgers Braves game, even though it finished 9-2, that game was close. You know, that wasn't a game that was like out of reach. Dixie Normus, the Red Warrior, says, I think that they'll win 88-90. 88 won't be enough. 89, 50, 50, 90 games gets them in. I agree. So the Mets have 82 wins. They have to go, I guess, 8-4. 8-4 is a pretty good 667 baseball. So that's probably what it's going to take. Who would have thought it would have taken 90 wins to get the third wild card spot? But it does tell you about how fierce this competition has been with the Braves. And that's just what the Mets have to deal with. The Braves and the Phillies are so tough that you have to get 90 wins. You have to get 90 wins to win this thing. That says a lot. You know, it says a hell of a lot. Dixie says this, brutal last 10 games. Absolutely. Those last 2 games is a gauntlet. If the Mets get through that gauntlet, they'll win the wild card. They'll win that last wild card. And we'll get to the postseason for the first time in 2 years. And the Mets have just as good of a chance as any other team in the National League. The National League is wide open. The Dodgers have not been this sort of super team everybody had been saying. And the Braves will be going home. So the Braves will be going home. The Phillies are the team to deal with. And I would like to see the Mets play the Phillies in the postseason. That'd be a lot of fun. Personally, for me, it'd be a lot of fun. Because then I can goof on my friend Ethan. I can't believe I met him. We'll get into that momentarily. But that would be a lot of fun to see the Mets play the Phillies in a postseason situation. And like I said earlier, I don't look at the Phillies as a rival. Like the Philly fans look at us as rivals. You know, it's a very strange thing. It's a very strange thing. Now, tomorrow the Mets play the Nationals again. They'll send Tyler McGill against Mitchell Parker. We'll cover that. I wasn't expecting to do a live stream. I was expecting to do something on Facebook. I do have a Facebook account. So if you're on Facebook, just check me out on the Baseball Hut. I'm probably going to start doing more stuff on that. I'm kind of undecided what to do on there. You know, but so go on there. I didn't put the link in the description of the video, but now I'll have it for later. But I am on Facebook if you want to follow me there. I've been starting to do different things, starting to post stuff on there, and we'll see what happens. When we have some more clarity on these other 2 games, there'll be a video posted. Hopefully I won't be too tired to do it. I do have to work tomorrow, so I'll have to see what time these games are over. And one game started 9:20, and the other game, I don't remember, 9:30, whatever. So it'll be a little while before we get you a video out. There'll be plenty of videos tomorrow. A video on Grimace, the power of Grimace, boys. Grimace showed up at the ballpark again tonight, and the Mets won tonight. And really, since he's been here, since he showed up the first time, the Mets have been winning. So the power of Grimace compels you. Quite frankly, what a fun what a fun night tonight was. And really, it's been a very good season, just as an aside. So, okay. So let me talk about my experience on Friday, because I haven't talked about it. This goes back years now. I started on this platform as the Comic Book Hut. And the Comic Book Hut was basically railing against, SJW comic books and just bad politics in the comic books. And it sort of morphed into me sort of goofing on other creators that are on the other side, which wasn't the plan. And I got sort of misled, and I sort of made some enemies, which I don't care about what they do now. I really don't care. But one of the people that I guess was probably the number one target is a big target. He's not as big as people say he was. He's not a big guy. He's not. I see pictures of him, very misleading. He's not nearly as big as people say he is. I thought he'd be much taller. That's not a bad thing. He's a little taller than I am. But he's very much a regular guy. Well, anyway, we were fighting online for a long time, and then I just got annoyed with a certain person, and that was the end of that. And I really don't care what happens with the comics side. I'll do a video. I did a video earlier tonight talking about the Fantastic Four, but really it's very generic stuff that I like to talk about. But so I started doing these videos in the Baseball Hut. Which, by the way, the Baseball Hut is really not my idea. The Baseball Hut was an idea of a YouTuber you may be familiar with him called Yellow Flash Comics. And he talks about entertainment, all kinds of cultural stuff. And he said to me one time, we were talking, I was doing videos on the first Comic Book Hut about the Mets. Different things on baseball and stuff on there. And the videos were bombing, they weren't doing well. And he said to me, you should start your own channel with the Comic Book Hut. With the Baseball Hut, or something like that. We talk about baseball. And that was the beginning of my idea of the Baseball Hut. Was that. But I didn't do it for 2 years. So then I started doing videos here on this channel. This channel has not gone anywhere in 4 years now. We're in the 4th year of this channel. And I've had nothing but fun here. As I started doing these videos, I know that Ethan Van Sciver was getting really irritated with these videos. So he started going, I guess, I didn't ask him. But it seemed like, all right, it's a 2-2 game, the Diamondbacks and the Rockies. And the Rockies just tied the game up. So he started going to the games and really goofing on the Mets, going to the ballpark. And I kind of thought it was funny because I'm very easygoing. And I like stuff, with what fans get on teams and stuff. I think we all do if you're a fan here. If you're a fan of baseball and stuff and sports. You like goofing on the other players' teams and stuff. And I saw that he was posting videos and I thought it was funny. Hold on, I need a drink. Look. So 2 years ago, we started talking again because I hadn't talked to him in a long time. This is Ethan. And we started settling things, and we've been very friendly for the most part. And in the springtime, or actually before the springtime, in the winter, my name came up in a live stream I was watching, and people in the chat were saying, you and Comic Book Hut should go to a Met game, a Phillies game. And I wrote them a couple of days later. I said, why don't we do that? I said, the Mets play the Phillies in May. Let's set up a time to meet and go to the ballpark. He's like, okay. Well, I couldn't do it because things came up. I moved. So that's why you see different backgrounds now because I moved. So I couldn't do it. I would mention I could use a super chatter to help my channel out. Actually help the channel out, but also help with the house. I had 2 major things done to this house since I moved in here. I had to do major electrical work in this house, and I just had the windows replaced. So I need all the help I can get here, not just people watching, by the way. So that's really the big, I would mention this, the big reason that I do stuff on YouTube is to buy a house. I bought a house. or at least got the down payment of the house. Next step is to pay this house off very quickly. I don't want to be paying this house until I'm 100 years old. Bayonet says JD looks lost. Mets need to have a team full of Cuban players. Okay. A team full of Yoenis Cespedes. Okay, whatever. But so what was I? What the hell was I talking about? So in the springtime, I couldn't go in May. The game I was supposed to go, it was lousy weather. I was going to be freezing my ass off. The Mets were playing miserably, and this was before the Mets and the Phillies played in London, which really has turned the Mets season around. Was the games in London, especially that last game in London. Really, that's the game that turned the whole season around. And so after that, I couldn't make it. I told him I can't make it. I just moved. I can't do it. So a few weeks ago, about a month and a half ago, I said to him, look, the Mets are going to play in September. I'll come down and we can go to the ballpark. And I'll go down to the ballpark and we can watch the game together. He's like, fantastic. So he didn't hear from me because I've been busy. So then about 2-3 weeks later, maybe 2-3 weeks ago, I said to him, I want to come down there and meet. So he ordered the tickets. And we're all set. So about a week ago, he DMs me, he wants to know, was like, you still coming? I was like, yeah, I'm coming. So then on Monday last week, I said, we're going to have great weather for Friday, which we did. When I left the hut on Friday at 1 o'clock, it was beautiful weather. I mean, the weather was about as perfect as you can possibly get. I got down there, it was like 90 degrees down there, folks. It was 90 degrees in Philadelphia. I couldn't believe how hot it was. I brought a jacket with me. Good thing I didn't do that. But anyway, I rented the car. It took me 5 hours to get down there. I had so much traffic in Brooklyn and Staten Island. A little bit in Philadelphia. It wasn't that bad. But man, I was in traffic like an hour, almost 2 hours in Brooklyn and Coney Island, and Staten Island. Man. So I get down to the ballpark at 6 o'clock. And he calls me. I was like right across the street from the park. I was parked by where the Eagles are, because the Eagles play across the street from Citizens Bank Park. And I was like, yeah, I'm across the street. I'm about to go on the first base side because he agreed to meet me there. So we met for the first time. He's a very generous guy, I will say. He's very kind and very generous. And we went into the club. They have a diamond club there. He goes, order anything you want. I'll pay for it. I said, all right. He got me a Philly cheesesteak. I will say this about the food at this ballpark. The ballpark's beautiful. It's a very nice park, but the food is disgusting. The food is about as bad food as it could possibly be. The food at Citi Field is great. The food at this park is terrible. He said to me, why don't you get a Philly cheesesteak? Because since you're in Philadelphia, I'll get a Philly cheesesteak too, and we'll have it. I was like, is it any good? He's like, yeah, not really. And he was right. It was gross. It was really gross. So, and I got this gigantic Coke and a Phillies cup. And that was, and I don't drink soda, okay? So I try not to drink soda. I don't like soda too much. But I figured I'd get something. I probably should have gotten water. So I normally drink most of the time. Although when I'm on my show, I don't drink that. I drink iced tea. But anyway, I was able to sort of sit behind the plate, had great seats. The Philly fanatic showed up. He says to me, Hut, why don't you go take a picture? I took plenty of pictures with them. Also, I live streamed on his channel, which was nice. I was able to talk to his people there because they didn't really know me. He doesn't really know me. And to sort of sit there and talk to them and enjoy the game. And it was a lot of fun because, the Mets got an 11-0 lead. Mets hit the first 3-run home run, the second, third 3-run home run. And then they scored 7 runs, and then they had the third 3-run home run by Harrison Bader. So the seventh inning comes, he hits that home run, out of the ballpark. Fans started leaving, so I tipped my hat. I'm going like, "See you later, see you later." He was laughing, and people started getting so pissed. That's how I learned, sitting there, because I didn't wear any of my Mets stuff that they could see. I had a Mets shirt on, but they didn't know that I was a Mets fan. But I heard a lot of the fans there were very irritated at the Mets. They hate the Mets. They said somebody kept complaining about them. It's, oh, they were our rival, blah blah blah. I hate them, and whatever. So the 10th inning, or the 8th inning comes. The Mets had already taken out Francisco Lindor, and Danny Alvarez came up and he got a hit. Or maybe they got the 3 runs in that third 3-run home run in the 8th inning. I think it was the 8th inning. And this ball was fouled off by Danny Alvarez. It hit the front of the press box. It landed. Ethan turned around and it was right in front of him, right on the ground. He picked it up. He didn't even hesitate. He goes, "Yeah, you can have this." I was like, "What?" He goes, "Here, this is your game. This is your team. Your team hit this. You can have this baseball. Look at this. Look at this game. Look at this ball, guys. Isn't this cool?" You could not have found a better situation. And then as the game, drew on a little bit, the two of us were saying, "Can you believe this happened? Can you believe this? That this actually happened?" To where I show up, the Mets had this big game. He's having to sit there, having to deal with this. He took it in stride, I gotta say. To the Mets beating the hell out of his team. He took it in stride. I was very, he's very easygoing when it comes to that. I will say that. And like I said, I met his son as well. But I didn't mention. I met his son's friend. But you could not have found. I couldn't have met a nicer guy. He's just a regular guy. He has problems at home. I feel bad for that. His daughter is autistic. He just found out that his wife has Parkinson's disease. I told him, during the game that I felt bad. I found out about it. I'm sorry to hear that. He was very kind about it with me. So, it was a very nice evening at the ballpark. The most important thing is the Mets won. We both had fun watching the game together. And I'm very happy for my own sake that I was able to set things right. Because I don't make too many mistakes in life, but this was a situation that I had to sort of rectify it and move forward. I think I kind of did that over the last 2 years. I sort of just minded my own business, which I have, and to be able to sort of meet one person. I have no fear of that kind of stuff. I know on Saturday I watched a little bit of his show in the beginning because he had to tell people how it was, what the experience was like meeting me. And he told people, people were asking in the chat, was he nervous meeting you? I wasn't nervous. I was more nervous about driving down there than I was meeting him. That was not my concern. So I drove by myself. I was hoping to have a family member come with me on Friday with me. I was hoping he would drive. Or hoping to have somebody to talk to in the car. But that was the only concern I had going down there, was the drive. And Ethan even asked me, he's like, "Did you take the train down?" I was like, "No, I would not take the train, go into New York City, and then to show up in Philadelphia." I've done that a few times. I've taken the train to Philadelphia and to Baltimore. The train ride from the city into Philadelphia is an hour and a half, which is not bad. But from where I live, it's 4 hours travel. I'm not doing that. And the ballpark is not anywhere near the train station, if I remember correctly. So you got to take a cab. I think I probably have to rent a car to go down to the ballpark. And I didn't want to stay in a hotel by myself in Philadelphia. That wasn't something that I was all that interested in doing. So, but like I said, this was a great night. The Mets got to win. I set things right with somebody that I had issues with. He had issues with me. He had more issues with me than I did, really, quite frankly, with him. But I'm glad that I set that right, and I'm happy that, again, I said, the Mets won. And, I don't make too many mistakes when it comes to how I handle people. And this was a mistake that needed to be fixed, and I fixed it. I think that's why I got a good night to do that. And anyway, I don't normally talk about myself or any problems that I have. I don't have too many problems, but just quite frankly, like he said in his live stream the other night, I'm just a regular guy. Yeah. I thought it was funny that he said I had a green shirt that I looked like Rambo. I don't look like anything like that or act like that, But that was my experience at the ballpark this week. I hadn't been to a game for a few years, so I was sort of undecided the last 2 years, especially 2 years ago, about the games I wanted to go to. But I'm glad I was able to go down there, and to be able to go down there, and then, folks, I took the GPS back, and instead of double checking to see which way it was taking me, I went north, which I shouldn't have done. It took me 5 hours to get back home. I took the GW Bridge. That took me 2 hours on that fucking bridge because they closed off 3 lanes on the upper level. Then I get to the bridge, and me like a dope didn't read the signs right because I had never been on that bridge before. And at the lower level was the car level, and the upper level was the trucks. So here I am in my SUV that I rented out, and I'm on the upper level with all these gigantic trucks, and an SUV that smelled like gasoline, by the way. But like I said, I'm never going to do the drive again by myself. I'll do the drive again, but not by myself. I'll have somebody drive for me or drive with me. That's for sure. Well, now tomorrow again, like I said, the Mets will be playing the Nationals again. The Mets will be going up against Mitchell Parker. They'll send out Tyler McGill, hoping that McGill will put out another good effort. His last start was pretty good last time out there. The Mets starting pitching has been pretty good this month. They need to keep it going. They need to get clutch hitting in these games. It is so imperative that this team gets clutch hits in these games. Because if they don't, they're not going to win this wild card. They have to hit with men on base. They have to get rallies going. They have to get the first run of the game. They have to get multiple innings they have to get multiple runs in innings to win this wild card. The Braves are very vulnerable. The Mets can beat the Braves, and they have to win that series down in Atlanta. Winning that series in Atlanta will put them in a situation where they'll win the wild card. And that's what they need to do. Again, the most important game now in the schedule is tomorrow. They have to get the game tomorrow, and then we'll move on for the next game, and the next game after that. That's the most important thing, is to be able to go from game to game to game. Every game is a playoff game. Every game is important going forward. And this was a big win tonight because this takes one game off the schedule that the Braves have to get 2 wins to tie. They gotta get 2 wins to get ahead of the Mets in the wild card. So I gotta figure it out in my head how I can describe it to you. But that's what's most important, is getting tomorrow and making it difficult on the Braves. And like I said, you want to get a bit of a cushion going down to Atlanta. We used to be down there in Atlanta, but it's funny. When they had that 10-game road trip, before the Mets went on that trip, I was like, they need to be 2 games at that road trip. They came back 4 games. And I was like, this is not going to happen. This is going to be bad. When they lost the games in Seattle and stuff, this is going to be bad. But for some reason, they turned it around because they have a good manager. The coaching staff's done a good job. And you credit the players, too. Credit the players on doing a good job. So, let me see what else. Let me see if I can find one of these games and give you an update. Give you an update on the Arizona game and give you an update on the Padres. I think those teams, like I said, I think they're pulling away and from this wild card. So, like I said, it's all going to come down to the Mets and the Braves for that third wild card. But I guess the score before with the Diamondbacks, that game was tied. The Rockies tied that game up. I don't have the numbers in front of me. Let me see something. Let me see what the numbers will be. Now, meanwhile, please like this video and subscribe. Let me see here. So I have an idea where we are. So the Mets are 2 games back in the loss column of Arizona. And the Braves are now 3 games behind in the loss column. That's the number you need to keep an eye on. Those are the numbers. And the Mets are 3 games back of the Padres in the loss column. They were winning 1-0 before. And the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Rockies were tied. So we'll wait a couple minutes, wait. Then they come back after the commercial. Then a commercial right now. Yeah, the Padres are winning 1-0. Padres are winning 1-0 in the... What inning is this? That's a pretty girl on TV. Sorry. A soccer player. Anyway, CP's Mets and Knicks. Let's go Mets. That's right. How you doing? I see you. I see you got a channel. I see you got a pretty good Mets channel there. So you're getting close to being monetized? Good for you. I think CP Mets is getting close to 950 subscribers. I don't know if he has that yet. I don't have the link in here, so please subscribe to his channel. Yeah, so San Diego's winning. Let me take a look at the Diamondbacks here. So we have an idea. This game is 2-2 in the top of the 9th inning between the Rockies and the Diamondbacks. The Rockies were losing 2-0 after the first inning, and they scratched out a couple runs in the 4th inning and the 7th inning. I think the run in the 7th inning was a home run. CP Mets and Nick says, thank you so much. So very close over here, yes. Well, good for you, you know. Hopefully you can start making some cash. Let me ask you a question. Do you have super thanks available on your show? Because when you do that, when you get that super thanks, you should if you haven't done it already, just let the people in your life. Do you get super chats? You probably get super chats, right? Do you have enough hours on your channel? So I'm sure you're making money if you're doing that. Because I know that your channel getting up there, people start to send chats when you get close to being monetized. Hopefully your channel's getting monetized. I haven't checked that. I know who my competitors are. I know who's out there. For the most part. I would mention this, and I don't want to be this. I am the first Mets YouTuber. I've been sort of looking and digging a little bit. But I really am the first Mets fans YouTuber, as far as I know. I was doing Mets videos on them back in 2018. So I've been doing videos on the Mets for a long time. So I'm not the biggest channel yet. But I'm certainly at the biggest mouth, though. But it's 2-0 now with the Padres versus the Astros. Jackson Margus just hit a home run. Okay, whatever. Whatever. It's good to see Houston coming through. It looks like Houston's going to go to postseason again. CP Mets and Knicks. I only started last year, so you got me beat for sure. This is not. I will say this. It's gotten a lot harder to do a baseball channel. When I started out, it was very easy. Especially on the Mets. It was very easy back in 2020 and 2021 because that's when the Mets got a new owner, Steve Cohen. And because I got Steve Cohen in here as the owner, people are constantly Googling anything about the Mets. And and guys like Trevor Bauer, who they were talking to the following year, that's all everybody was talking about was the Mets online. So I know how hard it's been the last few years, just for myself and all the Met YouTubers. Now I'm pretty happy where this channel is going. and my presence online. It's very strong. And I'm very confident in the things that I say. And that's what you need to be. It's very confident in the things you talk about. You know. And you want to be able to expand, which I'm going to be doing, expanding into other places. Again with Trevor Bauer? No, Jay Doffer. You don't want that fucking weirdo here. Let's have a good thing here. He's got too much baggage. I don't want to know about this guy's sexual proclivities. Okay? I don't care about that crap. Okay? The Mets got lucky not signing that goofball. And nobody wants that goofball. But starting out as a Met YouTuber is hard now. And you probably had it very difficult, CP, because I know because the Mets traded all those veterans last year. I saw how difficult it was when they had that rough offseason, how nobody was Googling them. This is going to be a very good offseason for all of us because the Mets going to be talking about Juan Soto, Corbin Burns, Jack Flaherty. I have a video on him in the next day or two. On all these big, free agents. So it's going to be a very strong winter for all of us. So, but you should get monetized. You should get 1,000 subscribers within a month, I would think. I would mention you need to do what I've been doing a lot is I've been doing a lot of shorts. You want to do a lot of shorts on your channel because that expand people online. They don't want to watch like an hour live stream. They don't want to watch a 10-minute video. They want to watch a minute video. And the more videos you do that are shorts, the better your channel will do because you'll bring in more subscribers. It'll expand your reach. And I've been doing that a lot. I have a video on the wild card in a little while. We'll see what happens in this Rockies Diamondbacks game. So far, it's still tied in the 9th inning. We just refreshed this a little bit. Yeah, it's the bottom of the 9th inning. Let me see something. Let's see. Let me see if I can go here. See if I can go to that game. Sure. All right, let me just see. But, it's much harder to be a Mets YouTuber these days. And now you're seeing things, and it's very concerning to me, as seeing WFAN doing a lot of videos and sucking all the air out of the balloon. That is very concerning to me. And I sort of, it's my own fault because I went after them so hard. They're trying to, control the narrative of the bullshit they're trying to do over there. Let's see something. Hold on a second. Got a little around here. These stupid pop-ups. Doing this video on my phone. The WFN is starting to suck all the air and all the fun out of things on here. And because I hammered them so hard last year, they're trying to control the narrative. That will never happen. And I've told them before. I'm plenty of my videos, I'm not going anywhere. God willing. Hoping they're not going anywhere either. Hope we're not going anywhere, any of us. It's going to be a very hairy week this week. God help us this week. Just waiting for game day to come up and see what the score is. Give you an updated score on the Arizona Rockies game. And of course, please like this video and subscribe. If you're watching on replay, leave comments in the comments section and like the video. All right, what the hell's going on here? Let's see what's going on. Get game day on here. I don't know why it's so slow. Computer's running slow tonight. I don't know why. Yeah, so I have a lot of videos coming up the next day or two. I got stuff I've already recorded. I was going to post stuff after the game, but because of this live stream, I'm not doing that. Game is over. Ding, ding, ding. The Rockies won. So the Mets are now one game closer. Very good. Very good. They're now one game behind the Diamondbacks. Very good. So one game behind in the second wild card. Get the second wild card. That should be their goal. Hold on a second. Let me just double check. The Mets have 68 losses. The Diamondbacks have 67 losses. So the Mets are now, let's see, 83 and 67. So Arizona's 83 and 67. The Mets are 82 and 68. So the Mets are one game behind the Diamondbacks. Get the second wild card. That should be the Mets' goal. Get the second wild card. We don't have to worry about the Braves. That's what the Mets need to do. Get that second wild card. You get the second wild card. You don't have to worry about playing the Braves in the first round. And that's it. That's what the Mets need to do. Get that second wild card and let Diamondbacks and Braves worry about that last wild card. So the Mets are now one game back of the wild card, second wild card in the National League. So we're now in the fifth inning in the San Diego game. They're winning 5-0. They look like the team that's pulling away in this. If they win this game, they'll be 3 games up on the Mets and 2 games up on the Padres and 4 games up on the Braves. So Mets got some luck tonight. The Dodgers actually showed up and beat Atlanta down there. Beat them 9-0. Ohtani had a big game last night. I was glad to see that because he did not have a good series prior to that. So we'll see what happens in this game. Houston is going to be tough. I'll try to stay up as long as I can to get you an update on this. Maybe I'll have this for the morning. But I'll probably have this for the morning, I think. I'll give you an update because now Mets now have a 1-game lead on the Braves and a 1 game behind the Arizona Diamondbacks. So this is pretty good news for tonight. This is going to go back and forth till we get to the end. But the main thing is the Mets have to find a way to secure that second wild card spot. They have to find a way in the next few days to tie the Diamondbacks and get that slot. They don't have to worry about not getting in at all. And the Mets have the tiebreaker with the Diamondbacks. So that'll be. I wonder what would happen if there would be a tie for that second wild card spot. How would that work if Atlanta won the third wild card spot? I guess it would depend. I don't even know. That's a good question. Well, anyway, that's food for thought, and I will be signing off. This was a pretty good live stream, and I don't do too many live streams nowadays, but I want to do something off the cuff and live on my phone, and we'll do more stuff like this. I'll do stuff on in the main room, and thank you, and have a good night, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow. Thank you, Garcia. Can't see your name, John Neri Garcia. Keep up the great work, Hub. Well, thank you. I do my best. And again, this is not hyperbole. This is not me pounding my chest. This is the best Mets channel on YouTube, and it is the best Mets podcast anywhere. It's the best Mets fans podcast on the internet. There's nobody like me. We have fun here. I don't care what I say. I want to make you laugh and be entertaining and not be like everybody else and not be weird. I'm not some little munchkin trying to be in the media. I'm not some unfriendly potato. I am the Hut. One and singular. There's nobody like me in the world, and there's nobody like me and no channel like this on this platform. So thank you for coming by. Have a good night. Let's go Mets, and I'll see you later.